Good morning. And sometimes it really is tricky to get this thing going. And today we hit a snag in our reporting um, software. And we also we're hitting a snag in our talking to ourselves, setting things up. But my name is Jay Cleveland Payne. This is Things You Might Have Heard. And we're going to provide for you in mere moments 8 stories from a batch of about 32 that we whittled down to the top 15, the most engaging stories based on you guys, and pulled them into the biggest narrative. Now, I'm going to have to be a bit honest today. Day isn't quite such a great day for news, and not because the news is bad per se. It just wasn't exactly a very good day for, I guess, the nuance. And we had some issues with the reporting actually lining things up for the top stories. And so these are the truer stories, but not maybe the truest stories. A little inside baseball, if you will. But we still have 8 stories to talk about, things that were still pretty interesting based on what you guys said. But, it just wasn't quite the pop that we've had in the past couple of days. So we will remind you right now that Brittany Griner is still in jail and still needs to be released. So that's out there. There's the Russia thing, there's the Ukraine thing, there's inflation, there's all that stuff going on. All the important things that you get from the new, improved, shinier than shiny CNN. But some things that you might have missed on some of the fringer things, and not so much fringer things, but just sort of gossipy thing. A lot of tea type stuff today, and a lot of it is stuff that I don't follow closely. But you guys want to talk about it, so it is here. Find out more about what we do at the Conversation Project by going to the Conversation Project's website. This is theconversationproject.com. Moving right along, let's get into the stories. Less yak, because we're already 2 minutes into this thing. Kyle Rittenhouse launches YouTube channel about guns. I should just leave that there, but I'm going to ask you very kindly to just go check out the link. Kyle Rittenhouse is trying to extend his notoriety and extend his 15 minutes of fame and turn into something that may turn into something. We see this with people who are not convicted of bad things and sort of fall into the darling love of the right, if you will. George Zimmerman became sort of the hero of many for quite a while. Not sure he actually has any actual conceivable skills, but people were loving on him for quite some time because of what he did. We're not going into that right now. Kyle Rittenhouse doing something pretty gosh darn similar, and is now taking his fame to YouTube and starting a YouTube channel about guns. And there's nothing wrong with that. Actually, I don't even think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. If there's a person who should have some sort of outlet that talks about something he loves, it's Kyle Rittenhouse, and if it's guns, that's fine. But let's be clear now. Let's not give him all this extra props for trying to do something, air quotes, good with his life, when we know he's really just trying to stay irrelevant and get paid for doing as little as possible. He's not trying to become a civil rights lawyer. He's trying to use his infamy to make some cash. Let's make sure we know all that straight. I don't care that he has a YouTube channel. I don't care he talks about guns. I just care that we all actually know what's actually going out there. Whether we say the loud parts out loud or not, or the silent parts out loud or not, that's up to your brand of politics. Next up, in the game of trying to get back into relevancy, Andrew Cuomo's next act is a podcast with Scaramucci as his first guest. Andrew Cuomo, the superstar governor of New York, until we found out he did really, really bad things, and also was not very nice to Sandra Lee, which is maybe the biggest crime of them all, is coming back with a podcast. Yes, his brother, the actual journalist, came back with a podcast a while back and is now back on television with Newsmax. I actually recorded him on DVR and yet to watch a single episode. I see a clip here or there of big interview stuff because it's essentially just big interview stuff. But Andrew Cuomo, the guy who talks a little slower and louder like this, sort of like a really bad Pacino impression, a really bad Pacino impression of a really bad Pacino impression, is going to do a podcast. He's trying to stay relevant. As I said, he wants to not quite be out of the scene, out of the spotlight, so he can still enter into some semblance of politics at some point of time. Not sure why I'm talking so slow. So he's doing it with a podcast, and he's talked to Andrew Scaramucci to open things up. Not necessarily a bad guest, but we'll see what comes about with this one, because everybody has a podcast, even me. And I'm not trying to run for governor again or something like that. So Kanye West faces $250 million lawsuit from the George Floyd family, a cease and desist, and other things being thrown at Mr. Ye, based on the fact that he has a microphone, has a megaphone. It's not just a microphone, it's a megaphone. And you have to be careful about who people give megaphones to. We give Kanye a megaphone for his past genius, and that past genius is helping us pay by having him spew crazy at this point in time. He's saying that George Floyd didn't die because a guy pressed on his neck and he couldn't breathe. He's just saying, he just had all that fentanyl in his system. Why Kanye West is bringing this up right now, I'm not exactly sure. It works in contrast with all the anti-Semitism and things he's talking right now, because he's just talking crazy for all practical purposes. The George Floyd family has trying to sue Conway. That's a whole nother thing. Sue Kanye, i.e. Ye, for running his mouth and saying really bad, stupid things. We shall see how that works out as well. Our next story: Trump to be questioned by E. Jean Carroll defamation lawsuit. In E.G. Carroll defamation lawsuit. And I believe this actually happened yesterday, where he was questioned by E. Jean Carroll, who is a journalist who covered various things along the lines of New York City and fashion and things, and Trump. And she has alleged that Trump assaulted her in a department store, like sexually assaulted her there, and has everything to include blue dress like evidence of stuff that happened. This thing's been going on obviously for like 20 years. And as the president, he had some actual protections from this. But of course, as a president, a lot of people came out of the woodworks because time was running out to throw these charges at them. Now that he's no longer president, a lot of those protections are once again gone. We shall see how this plays out. Like I said, I believe the actual questioning, the actual deposition happened yesterday. We posted this either early 2 days ago, like early morning things, or early yesterday morning. So it was in the stack. It was there. And so it's an interesting thing. I want to see more about this. Chances are it's going to be buried. As I said, we had some tech issues that kind of washed some of the stories kind of out of contention that I thought were going to make it. So we'll see how this thing plays itself out. And if it pops up again, we will put it out there for you, and you tell us whether it's interesting enough. It was interesting enough to make it into the cut this morning. Let's see if it makes it to the cut in further weeks of action. Elon Musk's $100 burnt hair perfume. Yes, hair perfume that smelled like perfume that smelled like burnt hair, I should say, not perfume for your burnt hair. The essence of repugnant desire, him being Elon Musk, sold out. I'm not sure how many bottles was produced for this experiment, but Elon Musk mostly proving that essentially, if you're famous and you put your name on something, say, hey bro, buy this thing, people will buy it. It's not very good perfume. It smells like burnt hair. It's meant to be the essence of repugnant desire, the things that you shouldn't have, but you must have. And some people had to have it, even though they shouldn't have had it. Just another way to keep Elon in their news stories, I guess. The FDA panel recommends pulling Makena, citing ineffectiveness of controversial preterm birth drug. Click the link for this one. This one's a bit more detailed. This is actually a serious story about a drug for preterm births that you might need to know about, or someone else might know about. No jokes on this one, no nothing. Like I said, not a very high, inspiring, and big time story day. But a story like this is actually a big time story, a real story. So check it out. We aggregate news as your news side piece. We don't actually go out there and do research. I mean, that takes work. But we aggregate news from various sources, and this is one that I saw that pulled my attention instantly. I made sure that it was in the listing for the day, and oddly enough, since we were kind of lacking in interesting news, it's here. So check out the link in the description for more details on that one. Wendy Williams leaves rehab, says she's better than ever. Another story I have not been keeping up with for a while, but have for a bit because people were wondering about Wendy Williams, is Wendy Williams. She has been dealing with a whole bunch of issues. She's got a crazy ex-husband. She's got some kid problems. She's got some money problems. She lost her show because of issues, and she spent some time because of her health, serious health issues, in a rehabilitation facility. She's out. She's better than ever. Read up the story and see how she feels about things and what she plans on doing next. And this last story, one I really care absolutely nothing about, but we had to pull 8 stories. This is story number 8. Billie Eilish, 20, makes out with the Neighbourhoodâ's Jesse Rutherford, 31. I check out the link and see the pictures. Now, my wife watches the Neighborhood, so I maybe because it's the spelling, there it's like the British version of the Neighborhood, the Neighborhood, and because that's what's going on, and maybe because I think Billie Eilish might be British too. I don't know, but yeah, I don't care. I don't care. You guys care. So if you care that much, read the link, see the pictures, fall in love with Billie Eilish and Jesse Rutherford. Not exactly winter spring romance, but hey, we had to pull 8 stories a day, and today is a bit of a struggle. Technical issues we're going to blame on it because there should have been more stories that were more interesting higher up, but some of the scores didn't quite reach out like we need to. Here's a story that's really important that we may need to talk about based on your desire to vote it up and the fact that it's really important. Trade from UK to EU 16% lower than if Brexit had not happened, reports said. The Brexit was the big breakup between Great Britain and the European Union, the Britain exit, if you will. And they did that because of the globalization of money, because Europe is now essentially one big giant country like the United States, sharing money and sharing things. Britain found there's a way to make more money off of trade if they actually went on their own again, and they did. And now they're finding out for this study, part of the reason why their economy is not so great is because they sucked themselves out of the European Union economy, and now they're doing trade stuff one by ones, and now the trades across the European Union is 16% lower. We can go deeper in that if you want to. Go to our feeds on Facebook and Twitter, facebook.com/this is a conversation project and twitter.com/th_conversation. Those two feeds will allow you to see the stories you post every 50 minutes, such as this one in our feeds. Engage with them, like them, love them, hate them, share them. The more you engage with the stories, the higher score they go when the scorecards work and the spreadsheet is functioning properly. Sometimes we get, two-thirds, three-fourths of a thing, and we're not sure exactly what's up, but we still give you 8 stories that we're pretty close to being pretty sure most conversational. We will pull those, and then tomorrow, Friday edition, we'll give you one more day of 8 days. Come Monday, we'll give you 10 stories because we'll have 3 days to pull from and a lot more juice to pull from. But that's very simple. Take care of that by simply going to our feeds on Facebook and Twitter and engaging in the stories. Chess is awesome. And the Chess Store Incorporated is your place for awesome chess accessories. Wood sets, metal sets, theme sets, antique reproductions, plastic and travel sets that aren't cheesy, but look good and very functional, and unique and luxury chess sets as well. Your chess supplier should be the Chess Store Incorporated. We want to be your way into there. There's plenty of ways to pay, plenty of ways to find things. Go to our affiliate link at thisisaconversationproject.com/the chess store. This is a conversationproject.com/just the chess store. Every time I bring up the chess store, which is every week or a couple weeks or so into our rotation, I bring up my good friend Miss Georgia from church, who runs our CPR chess club. And it's for critical thinking and response. It's critical thinking and response. And I forgot what the P is. I always forget what the P is. But she has run that thing for almost a decade, it seems like. And she has brought kids from a small little gathering of folks to large groupings where they have to have 2 or 3 extra classes to learn chess, learn how chess can help you be better at your life skills. Yes, life skills. So if you need better life skills, you follow me on my life skills type stuff, my life coaching type stuff, get a chessboard. That's a good start. This is a conversationproject.com/the chess store. It's a place to get a great chess store and support the Conversation Project, which, of course, lives at this is a conversationproject.com. Stop by for more sponsors. You can meet up there. Partnership opportunities are there as well. If you think we're bringing you some value, check out our partnership opportunities and see if you can find something that will help you be involved with us. Also, links to our feeds are there as well, and links to our Facebook page and Twitter pages and TikTok pages and our podcasts and all those things are there at the website. This is a conversationproject.com. Today, things include birthdays for today. Happy birthday to the first female African American, Indian American vice president of the United States. I have to get all the props in there. Kamala Harris. Say it how you want to, except it's Kamala. And give her props on her 58th birthday. Happy birthday to you, Ms. Vice President. Snoop Dogg 51 years old on the day. I'm not gonna do that. And John Krasinski is 43 years old on the day, known for playing the goofy guy from The Office, now the jacked up guy from Jack Ryan, and other things. It's weird when they go from their opening thing to their new thing. Chris Pratt going from goofy guy to superhero guy, and Zachary Levi going from goofy guy to Shazam. These things are a little jarring in some cases. Of course, you have to think about Morgan Freeman started off as Easy Reader on the Electric Company. So that's a long time ago. Today, Chicken and Waffles Day. I have nothing really smarmy to say about it other than I like chicken. I like waffles. I love them together. And, maybe on this Thursday, we may find a way to make that thing happen at the house here. In the meantime, Chicken and Waffles Day, go out there and celebrate with chicken and waffles or whatever you want to in your favorite food day. We just suggest it be chicken and waffles, not and or together, because it's chicken, not chicken day, not waffle day. It's chicken and waffle day. As I said, had a bit of issue with the stuff this morning, so it's no kind of composed myself. A survey shows that more people request to be cremated with their pets' ashes than any other funeral rite. Other interesting requests made by people planning their funerals included being buried with their savings, like throw the money in the casket and I will die with it, being buried in their own garden, and having a phone with them in the coffin. Pause for effect. 3, 2. And that has been your Thursday, October 20th edition for 2022 of Things You Might Have Heard. Sometimes we just survive, folks. I am Jay Cleveland Payne. This has been a wonderful, glorious, extremely awesome edition of this thing. And if it hasn't been, we're going to say it 100 times until we believe it, which probably will never happen. Make sure you stay hydrated, stay limber, and stay on task for all the great things that you are put on this place to be here for. Make sure you stop by our main website, which is thisisconversationproject.com, and check out our feeds for more information on what you can do to be a part of the conversation, specifically the feeds. It's pretty simple. Just follow the feeds and engage in the stories. We're going to have a great Thursday. We're going to say that 100 times to believe it as well. And we're going to come back for which should hopefully be a less technically difficult issue of getting the stats out. There's a change in Facebook because they do that. Meta is what they are. Meta gonna meta. And they changed the way the stats came out. So now I can't get any stats out. So it'll be a few days till I figure that out again. But once that happens, they will be more balanced, maybe not so much fair, but more balanced scores. And we'll probably get some more or the more interesting things because the Facebook lovers vote up some things, upvote some things and make the Twitter lovers not get there based on how algorithms work. In the meantime, we done. We out. We gonna be here tomorrow. We hope so. Let's get to our day. Have a great one.